Yeah, today in particular, and then the last couple months, I have had to collect stakeholder feedback for some of the leaders that I'm coaching. And I always schedule a little bit of extra time for that, knowing this call could take 15 minutes, it could take 30 minutes. Most people are going to be a little bit late to the call. So you just sort of, I always over budget just in case. Also, because what if the call gets super juicy and we need a little bit extra time? But normally we finish and there's sort of 5 minutes left, which that in itself for something to finish early in a business setting is so uncommon, not because you need necessarily to use all the time, but because we're caught in this mindset of I got to get my money's worth, my time. Time is money, which is a huge insult to time, by the way. And so we'll nature abhors a vacuum. It'll what you're doing will expand to fill the time you give it. And so we run ourselves right up to your point that people schedule themselves back to 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 back, and they don't take in even their own biology. When are you going to pee? When are you going to eat? When are you gonna when are you gonna absorb the information, form an opinion, have something to contribute? And so we end up dispersing, and then we overgive, and we're self-abandoning in those moments. So this weekend and over the last 6 months, I am very explicit when the calls end early. First of all, everyone is like amazed because I will call it. You can feel the arc of the energy when something is complete, right? We're done with this topic. Let's move on. Or we're done for that's enough for today. Most people will also hang on and they go, I will say this. Listen, I'm not really in the business of truffle hunting for problems to dig up that we can solve. I got enough of those already. So if you're okay with it, I'm happy to give you or us both 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes back in your day. And their shock is shocking. And then I say, on one condition, that you do not give this time back to your organization. Nobody knows except me and you that we're finishing this call early and you showed up 5 minutes late. I know you got something else to go right into. So, my request is that with this time, you use it to do something that is going to nourish you, fuel your energy, allow you to return to factory settings to the degree that you can. Don't give this back to the man because it'll make you better on the other side. And then and their response to that is like it's almost like, well, wait a second. And I had to say to someone today, listen, if anyone calls you out on that, you tell them my executive coach gave me these orders, and then you tell them to call me. I got your back. I'll take this one for you. And then I'll give them 10 minutes too. Here's the thing. If you are like, nope, we're going to use every minute of this, if you are determined to be that person, then don't force something that's naturally, organically coming to a close and you're on a time constraint. Don't try to force it or keep it open. That's you're literally going against the grain. You're not going to get anything good out of that, right? So you have to learn to go with that. And if you're determined, well, so we have 10 more minutes, but we can't really move to the next spot until whatever, then say, you know, put it to the group. What would make this a useful, you know what I mean? Valuable to you. And they might go, or how just take this time to just digest. We just said we made a lot of decisions. We have a lot of action steps. So take a couple minutes to do whatever you need to do to get your mind right before you head into the next thing that you're going to do. What a gift. What a way to that's where the integration happens. The learning, we don't learn from our experiences. We learn from reflecting on our experiences. And if we can be constantly doing that in the moment and in small little nano chunks, because we can't all just book a cabin and screw off for 3 weeks and go reflect on life. We got to be like, okay, how did I just organize, put this away? That's going over here. I'm stepping out of this role now and I'm stepping into this role now. And I just came out of this and it was an awesome meeting. And now I have to go into this and it's probably going to be tension. And so, how do I need to reorganize myself energetically and otherwise to show up and play the role that people need me to play without getting suckered into becoming that person and not being able to take that costume off, for lack of a better metaphor? I think all the time when I see meetings like that, and I look around and I think, "Oh, this meeting needs a hero," because everyone wants this to end. Everyone would be out there's gonna be no objections, but why is it? Who in that moment is the authority in the room? It's the patriarchy. So which you can't actually physically touch, so break the rule. Break the rule and see what happens. Wouldn't you rather know where the line is and what the consequence is? And also, if someone is gonna lose their mind that you ended something 5 minutes early or you took a minute to, you know what I mean, feed and water yourself or whatever, I don't care what it is, then that's an indication that maybe this is not the place for you. I call this like leadership hygiene. As you progress in an organization, you have to be available, but not everyone should be, you shouldn't be accessible to everyone all the time for everything. So they don't really, as people ascend, they don't reorganize those boundaries and have those conversations about here's how much of me you can have, when and how and for what. They think their job is to just be available all the time, and so they're never really offline, so they're living this gray area of almost being on standby, and that is a huge energy drain, and it doesn't allow them to prioritize, which means the teams below them also get more and more chaotic and diffused. Yeah, so what happens is, typically, you get a job in any industry, and most people are being rewarded for being an individual contributor, right? And then you get to this point where you get promoted, and now the expectation is we need you to still be an individual contributor, but now you're managing a team as well, or a P&L, or a team and a P&L, or a something. They give you a bigger scope of responsibility, and it's like, okay, great, you could juggle one ball, now juggle two. But no one really teaches you how to manage that transition, and so for all this time, we're told the buck stops with you. You own this. You're accountable. It's impact. You know this impacts your bonus, your compensation, your reputation, your brand, your all that stuff. And now you have to keep doing that and manage these other individual contributors or this other unknown variable, and you should delegate, which again, yeah, that on paper sounds super easy to do, right? But what happens is both people in that equation are operating from fear. The person who has to do the delegating is like, here are the keys to the car that I saved my whole life for, that I wax every weekend, that I love like my child. Here you go, brand new learner permit driver. Oh my gosh, my car, my car, my car. And the person on the receiving end is like, oh my gosh, I barely passed the test. I can't parallel park yet. This is a big engine. Oh my goodness. It doesn't have to be a handoff like that. I tell leaders all the time, empowerment starts with enrollment. So first of all, do they want to drive your car? Secondly, you can be in the passenger seat. And so there's a process to delegating that the other person needs to be enrolled in. Otherwise, you're just imposing a whole bunch of extra work on them and assuming that they're going to know magically how to figure it out, how to sort it out, how to prioritize, how to manage all of that. So, exactly, exactly. So the delegate, so then what happens is the leader just holds on to control of everything, and they might say something like, this has happened so many times. I delegated it to my team, Kendra. I told them to prepare the deck and all the stuff, the presentation for the senior meeting. And they sent it to me the night before, and it was not what I asked for at all. And so I had to stay up all night fixing everything. Big, big mistake. You're creating everyone's just depending on you. And that is not sustainable. You're also circumventing other people's growth. And what are they doing? If we really do learn from our mistakes, how is this helping them? Also, you are not, why are you staying up all night? Why is anyone staying up all night? But why? So, another mistake leaders make that holds them back is they fail to plan to plan. Everyone intellectually knows I need to have a plan. I should plan around this. But the problem is you're already working with a full schedule. So there's no time. So you have to make a plan on how you're going to make plan time to plan. So for an entrepreneur, it's the difference between, for anyone, I guess, working in the business and working on the business. So I follow bare minimum Monday. And I'm trying to do as little as possible, but that time is for me to just get organized. What do I have Tuesday through Friday? How am I gonna manage my energy, my time? What does that mean for me at home too in terms of meal prep, transportation for people, travel time, calls? Other people that you may have to factor into your life, right? There's a plan. And especially then again, where am I going to get the energy for all of this? And how is this going to go off? What support levers I need to pull? What's going to happen if things go wrong? What's the at least the beginning of a backup plan? Having that structure to rely on is what allows you to think rapidly when you're and make quick moves and adjustments when you're in the game and things don't go according to the plan. But we don't do that. And then we also don't in that planning time, that's when you sit with your team and you start, okay, what are the priorities? Who are the people who are ready, who can step up, who are self-selecting that they want to take on more, that they want this? And then you start to involve and enroll the team. Where's that? Who's got capacity? Where are we at? What's going on? There's a chance to really elevate that, not just the entire team, but the whole organization. But it takes a really brave person to go, hold on and pull a handbrake in a culture where everything is like go, 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 results, 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 results. We don't have time, right? We're too busy driving to stop and get gas. But you got to set it up. It's the same thing. My dad was a chef when he was alive, my stepfather, and people ask me all the time, oh, he must have taught you the most amazing dishes. And to be honest with you, I can't really think of more than two things that he taught me, but what he did teach me is how to run a kitchen and how to set yourself up, right? The thing he taught me is clean as you go. Everything else will work. You got to clean as you go. And prep. Where's your prep? Or you don't start cooking the day that you're gonna serve the meal. That starts you got a menu plan, you got a budget, you gotta shop, you gotta time things out, you gotta do to make a beautiful meal happen. That's the result in a kitchen. In a business, the result is, you know what I mean? Whatever industry you're in.